Hello you, this video we're going to look at using these things here, hue saturation curves. They're not very exciting in terms of the naming, but they can do things like this. See the blue jacket, boom, green jacket. So complete color changes are nice. And in this case here, at the end of the video, I'll show you not only just how to change the color, but maybe to enhance, make the greens more green. There we go. Okay, and maybe add a bit of saturations just with specific color. That's what these under curves, hue saturation curves are really good for. Let me show you how. All right, let's first bring in the file we're going to use. I'm going to use Command-I on a Mac, Control-I on a PC to import, just to change things up. Under your exercise files, in color, you're looking for the one called O2 Color Correction C from Cotton Bro. Thank you very much. Let's open that up and let's make a sequence from it. Okay, so I'm just going to drag it into my new little icon thing there. Okay, so we're going to fix on this one. So we're going to change colors using kind of curves. So curves are in here. The ones that we want, we've worked on this in the last video. We're going to close it down and we're going to open up that one. Okay, the hue saturation curves. Okay, this is a strange new feature. It's good, but it's a little, like I remember when I was first thinking, I was like, man, my brain hurts. I've done the pain for you, so it's not that hard. Okay, so I want to change the colors of this blue. So you've got a couple of different options in here. Let's run through them all because that helps explain what the one we want hue versus hue. But let's start with this top one because hue, hue, hue. You can see these three start with the word hue, and then down here we've got luma, saturation. So whatever the first one is the line across. Okay, and what this means is I'm working on changing the hue. So I pick a hue, and then I change the saturation. I pick a hue and then I can change the hue of that hue. I can pick a hue, say the blue, and change the luma of it, which is the lightness. Okay, so that's kind of it. You're like, I still don't know what he's talking about. Let's do it. So let's say that I want to pick blue. So what you do is you grab, if you hover above this line here, you say between this blue and this blue, my little dots have disappeared. Please hold. Yeah, they were there. I just turned it on and off. I don't know what happened there. I'm going to undo. Undo's not working either. Whew. All right. Well, that might happen to you, so I'll leave it in there. Let's clear it all. Remember the clearing shortcut for lots of the things in here. I just double click anywhere. They will disappear. Unless they don't. I'm going to restart Premiere Pro. Wait there. And you're back. I just restarted Premiere Pro and I'm going to hopefully it's going to work now. It is. Cool. Oh well. I just restarted it. It's never happened before, but hey. So what we want to do is saturation. Where are we? I'm a bit frazzled. Hue versus saturation. Okay, so hue along here and saturation up and down. Hue along here, hue up and down. So what we do is we say, I want to somewhere in between these two. So I'm going to click in either side of blue. Okay, these blues in here. So there's a bit of light blue going on and a bit of medium blue. So I've kind of just straddled them there. And then I click in the middle, and at another point, and you can move that up or down. So can you see I'm kind of adjusting in between these blues. I'm making the saturation less or up, less or up. So it's kind of not really what I want. So I'm going to untick that one. Or remember, how do you get rid of it all? Clear it. That's right. You just double click it anywhere. So we're going to use hue versus hue. That's what we came here for. We're going to say somewhere these blues in this range, either side, just click once. I'm going to grab them in the middle here. I'm going to say, yup, yup. And that's how you change color. Okay. Yeah, it's really easy to do once you understand these little lines here, and it gives you a really nice kind of gradient, kind of like sloping adjustment, which is really nice, and you can focus on one color. Now we came here to kind of focus on hue versus hue, which is grabbing one hue and changing it, but while we're here, just so you can solidify the understanding of these strange little graphs here, okay, these curves graphs is say hue versus luma. So I want the blue colors, and luma is the lightness, so I want to make it brighter or less bright. Okay, you got to make sure you grab the right colors. Okay, so I need to probably drag mine up this way. Okay, you can afterwards, if you get the blue color, the wrong one, you can just drag it right. Can you see the dot doesn't drag as such? It kind of just moves along the spectrum. Okay, you can say I want to include a lot more of the blues that I didn't really get. So up, down. Okay, yeah. Luma versus saturation, you can say I want the colors that are say midtones. Okay, I want these to get more saturated. Okay, and anything here. Add your own sound effects. Now you might find like, how do I know what is affecting what? So I'm going to double click it to undo it. This is the eyedropper tool. So the eyedropper tool is really handy because you can say, actually, I want, say the colors that are in this kind of part here. I want these. Can you see? The eyedropper tool kind of gave me a nice kind of little 3 grouping here to say, I want these to be lighter and darker. So you can use this. Perfect for hue as well. Okay, so I'm going to double click to get rid of hue versus hue. I can say eyedropper tool, I want these kinds of blues to be different colors. You can see there it didn't quite grab everything. Okay, so I'm going to expand it out a little bit this way and probably a lot this way to grab the lighter ones. We're getting the hang of it. Hue, saturation, curves. It's not a very sexy name, okay, but are super helpful, especially when you're trying to recolor things. There are effects that can do it, but this is the new way of doing it, and it's really good once you get the swing of that line there versus whatever is on the second bit. So hue versus hue in this case. All right, the other thing I want to show you is not so much changing the colors as in like, hey, I got green, I want it to be purple grass, which you can do using the technique from before. Let's say I've imported this one here. Remember Tourism B from our Irish tourism project? Okay, I've got this one in here, throw it into a sequence. And in here, I can do things like, I want this hue, this green to kind of, I want it to pop more, or I want it to be just a bit richer. Okay, so what I can say is, eyedropper tool, I'm gonna pick kind of, it's hard because they're all kind of different patchworks of green. I'm gonna grab that and say, I would like it to be a little bit more saturated, a lot more saturated, or just a little bit. Okay, so you can decide how much more. I tick on, tick off. So just a little hint. If you find your grass is maybe a little, yellow, okay, you can change the hue of it. So we're not making it purple grass. So eyedropper tool, grab some of this, and instead of making it, pink, can you see this slider here, this crosshairs? You can see where I slide that to is what color it's going to be. If I slide it down to blue, I got blue grass. Slide up to red, red grass. Okay, so I want it to be just a smidgy bit more green. So I've dragged it to the green and the green slider. Preview on, off, turn the whole lot on and off at once. FX on, FX off. Super subtle. You're like, did he do anything? Not really. Let's just bang that up a bit more so you can see on screen. It's probably too rich now, but I don't know. That's the trick of being a really good colorist is so that nobody knows you've been there, just like little hints and adjustments. This needs a lot of work in terms of the contrast and other things as well, but you get what I mean. All right, you got to the end of this video. I'm going to give you, because you got to the end, I'm going to give you one last little trick that you don't need, okay? If you have got lots of these open, you've noticed I've been quite deliberate, trying not to confuse you. I know in class, when I've got all of these open, these get real confusing. You're like, oh man, there's so much going on here. Like, how do I know which way I'm going? If you hold down the Command key on a Mac, Control key on a PC, and click any of these names, can you see basic correction, creative, color wheels, hold Command key down on a Mac, Control key on a PC, and just click one of them and they all collapse. And you're like, whew, okay, now I can go into, be a bit more deliberate and go into these. Okay, so Command click even these chevrons and they will all close down as well. Okay, so it's just a nice way of just tidying things up. There you go, useless shortcut to end out the video. All right, let's get on to the next one.